Hello again, my fourth graders. So I hope right now you are working on math and you have clicked this video because you are going to start working on math. For today, you have two math assignments, okay? You need to do a reteach, which I included the pictures of in our math, Mrs. DeCasa's math assignment folder. And you also have to do a textbook page, textbook page 55. But I want us to look at the reteach first, okay? This is all stuff that we've done before, but remember, like I said yesterday, you have to reverse your brain, okay? All the way back to September, okay? So your reteach should look like this. I included the picture, okay? So you only need to do this one and this one, just numbers 1 and 2, okay? But for number 1, I want us to look at it together, okay? So it's asking us to add, I'm still getting used to this camera. It's asking us to add 534 plus 208, okay? We can do that. We know how to do that, okay? So if I stack them up just like this, one on top of the other, 534 plus 208, 8 plus 4 gives me 12. I leave the 2, I bring up the 1, 3 plus 1 gives me 4, and 5 plus 2 gives me 7. You should have gotten 742, okay? But now the chart is asking you to round 534 and 208 to the nearest 100, okay? So remember our rounding rules. We need to underline the number that is in the place value that we are rounding to. Okay, so for 534, the number 5 is in the hundreds place. Then we need to go next door. Okay, we need to go next door and circle the number next door. Remember the rule for this. If this number in the circle is 5 or more, this number goes up. Okay, if this number is 4 or less, if the number in the circle is 4 or less, this number stays the same, okay? So that 5, is it going to turn into a 6 or is it going to stay the same? I'll wait. Yes, it is going to stay the same, okay? Because that 3 is small, okay? That 3 is smaller than 5. That 5 is not going to change. So 534 rounded to the nearest 100, we have 5, and every other number becomes a 0, okay? This should be coming back to you. Now for 208, we need to round to the nearest 100, okay? So we underline the number that's in the hundreds place. I'm going to try to do this as best as I can. We underline the number that's in the hundreds place, and we circle, and we circle next door. That was a horrible circle. We circle next door, okay? So that's a 0. So is that 2 going to get bigger or is it going to stay the same? It is going to stay the same, okay? So 208 rounded to the nearest 100 should be 200, okay? Now, if you remember, when we estimated, when we drew our arrows, okay, again, this is way back in September. When we estimated, when we drew our arrows, we had to add over here, okay, to find an estimated answer and to see if the estimated answer was reasonable, okay? So we can do 500 plus 200, no problem, okay? You should get 700, okay? 700. The estimated sum is 700. Now, between 742 and 700, see if I could do an arrow. Oh geez, okay. That's not working. Between 742 and 700, do you think 700 is reasonable? Would you say that it is a reasonable answer? What do you think? I would say yes, it is a reasonable answer because it is still within 700, okay? So that is your job for reteach page 14, numbers 1 and 2, and I hope that helped to clear it up a little bit. let's see what else you need to do for math. For math, you have to do, once you are done with this, because it was very short, once you're done with this, you must go to your textbook, okay? And I'm actually going to bring up the textbook right here. Okay, you have to do textbook page 55. It is a math journal. It says reading and writing math journal. It says these are the steps to find the factors of 12. Now, the way they find factors are a little bit different than the way we did them, okay? So I want you to do this with me. I want you to do this together with me. So when we find the factors of 12, okay, there's a lot of different things that we can do. We can do a factor rainbow, if you remember that, or we can do a, which I used to tell you that this was one of my favorites because it's just very organized and it helps keep my numbers very organized. I like to do a T-chart, okay? So the number that we are finding the factors of goes on top, the number 12. So what two numbers, when I multiply them, give me 12, okay? I know that all of you are going to tell me 1 times 12, okay? I know that all of you are going to tell me 6 times 2. And I know that all of you are going to tell me 3 times 4, okay? So these are all of the factors of 12. So if we were to list them in a list, I would say the factors of 12 are 1, 12, 6, 2, 3, and 4, okay? That's how I would list the factors of 12, okay? So that would be step 1, okay? Step number 2 is it wants you now to, let me just double check, yep. It wants you now to list the factors, okay? So again, we just did it. I would list the factors using commas, okay? 6, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So we have step 1 and we have step 2. That is how the textbook wants you to do it. But it wants you to find it for 12, which we just did, and it wants you to do this for the number 15, okay? So you need to repeat these steps, okay? Step number 1 and step number 2 with the number 15, okay? So you would do your T-chart, you would list, and then step number 2, you would just list again, but make sure you're doing it for 15, okay? So your first job was for 12, now your next job is for the number 15, okay? If anybody needs any help or if anyone is confused, please message me. I am here on my computer from 9:30 in the morning until 12. I take a break so I can feed Gemini and walk him because he gets a little crazy during that time of the day. And then I come back from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, okay? I hope this is helpful for you. I miss you so, so much. I hope we can be together soon. Bye, guys.